You work out in the morning. Dr. Oz is back with us. Congratulations on all your success. And
thank you.
You got the new season starting today. How are you?
Very well. I do my little yoga routine in the morning.
What time is that?
It's usually about 6:10, and it's only about 7 to 8 minutes long. It's a bunch of push-ups and sit-ups, and then some sun salutation, which is a basic yoga pose. That way I'm stretched out and loose. Instead of taking coffee in the morning or caffeine, that gets me going.
You meditate a little bit?
I don't meditate till the evening. But in the evening before I go to bed, I meditate. The single thing that's changed my life more than anything else is meditation, because I can calm down at the end of a busy day. And when I was a surgeon, every day, it was hard to do that because your hours are so messy. Now I only operate 1 day a week. So that one day, I'm really, because when you go to sleep at night after you've operated on people, you don't sleep so well.
You don't?
Because you're worried about them. You're nervous about them, but you're also getting called a lot about their follow-up care. But on the show, I get to go to bed at night. So now I meditate.
7 to 8 minutes workout in the morning.
Yeah.
And then the meditation at night. And you look like this.
Well, I look like this because I went apple picking yesterday with all the kids.
You did?
Including little Philo.
Thank you.
You went apple picking?
Yes.
An apple a day doesn't keep Dr. Oz away,
No,
thank
it brings
goodness.
Dr. Oz to you. I'm giving him to your whole staff.
Where'd you go? Where'd you go apple picking?
I went to Ox, which is up in Warwick County, New York State. If you go up, towards Tuxedo Park and you pass that, it's just a little bit up. It's been a yearly tradition for our family. We never miss it. Kids come from all over the place to come back, spend that one day with the family.
Did you bring your grandbaby?
Yes, of course, Philo, little tasty morsel.
I asked you real quick about the meditation. So what do you think about it? I guess the trick is you think about nothing, right?
No, you don't. It's impossible to think about nothing. Actually, I have a show on it this week because I'm so passionate about this. It's about relaxing your mind so it goes where it wants to go and eventually goes to nothingness. So it's like diving into water. There's waves on the surface of the ocean. It's rough up there. As you go deeper, it gets calmer and calmer. You're not thinking about nothing. You naturally go to nothing. And it sounds hard and difficult, but it's not this religious, crazy cult thing. It's a very cool thing. Like Howard Stern, who just before the break, we were speaking about the Joan Rivers Memorial Service, which was fantastic. But Howard Stern started the whole event off. He meditates every day.
It's called transcendental meditation?
I do transcendental meditation, but there are other kinds of meditation. This week on the show, I've got a 5-minute, very short meditation. In fact, right now, if people want to, they can go to droz.com, free meditation at programs from Deepak Chopra, a lot of big-name folks who can just sort of get you into a position. What I tell women to do, go to the bathroom. Don't actually go to the bathroom. Put the seat cover down. You can actually just sit there, but people won't bother you in the bathroom. And just let yourself go to a place of calm for 5 minutes. It is probably one of the most important things that we do to deal with stress in our lives. And I'm focused very much on this because this year we are bringing healthy back. And I'm serious about this. I was out with your commuters today. In order to bring healthy back, you got to do small things, but every single day.
So what, you were outside before you came in here and talking to everybody on the streets and getting their temperature, so to speak?
I don't know if you've seen the buses, bringing healthy back buses. There are our ads for the new season. So I was going on those buses and torturing poor commuters who were trying to just get to work and asking them, what's the small little thing you're going to do this year to make yourself better? And they were all over the place, but fantastic ideas. Get to work 5 minutes early so I feel like in control of my life. Meditation was one. Simple tips about different foods they're going to start exploring and eating, whether it's okra or a different way of making broccoli. Small things, but again, you can do them every day.
That's beautiful.
That's the key.
And I like that you were hanging out with your own poster on the bus. I think we actually have some footage of this from this morning.
Am I there?
Make yourself help
to stop smoking.
I am waking up earlier, spending 5 minutes every morning meditating. Wow. And it's so far so good.
What's your health step this year?
I've been eating more fruit. I never ate fruit, I've been trying new fruit, so I've been eating pineapples and...
Yes. What are you doing to get healthy this year?
I'm eating a lot of salads.
Salads?
Yes.
Good for you. How about you? What are you doing to get healthy?
Exercise.
Exercise?
Yeah.
Exercise, diet.
All of it together?
Yeah.
What are you doing to get healthy this year?
This year I'm trying to walk more often. I have a longer lunch break, so I try to exercise more.
You guys bringing healthy back?
Yeah!
They're bringing healthy back. They're bringing healthy back. Keep it up, guys. Enjoy the ride.
I love New York. We had the best time. I mean, everyone was game. These people were all running off to work, but they're having a good time with me.
Meanwhile, you picked the only bus that didn't have your picture on it.
I was a bus all over the place.
All right, so you gave us some good tips. Good tips. What about? Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to ask, how's Lisa doing, your wife?
Lisa's doing fantastically well. We had a wonderful summer. I got to see my parents at all, and she and I both have been following this Ebola story.
Yeah, what's going on with the Ebola?
So we're launching the season today with a wonderful program. Two physicians from the front lines joining us in studio. Sanjay Gupta, Rich Besser. So Rich Besser ran the CDC, and having a very honest conversation. I'm going to ask them one important question: is Ebola coming to the United States?
And?
Well, they can answer, but I'm very concerned. 20,000 people will be infected with this virus. We expect more than half will die, and it will come to America, I believe, in one way or another.
Were you concerned when they brought those physicians to Atlanta, albeit in the suits and that kind of thing? They took some precautions, but a lot of people were alarmed that they were bringing Ebola sufferers to the U.S. How did you feel about that?
I think it's the American thing to do. We took medical precautions. I think we are safe. Ebola, when it does hit this country, and it will, will be much different of a disease than it is in Africa. And that's part of the focus of today's show, because the biggest risk we have as a country, because there will be a pandemic. Ralph Breeden, who runs the CDC, was on my show recently and just said that very clearly. There will be a pandemic in our lifetime when a virus, if it's not Ebola, other ones like it will come. The biggest fear I have is that the healers will be hurt. And if they're sick and they can't take care of you, then no one's in the hospitals to take care of folks who are ill. And I think that's where America will shine. And I have a lot of confidence in the scientists of this country to get ahead of this virus, but we're going to continue to be assaulted. As humans live closer to animals, especially in Africa, there are going to be more mysterious viruses that rear their ugly head. And Ebola is a classic example. And I tell you, it is spiraling out of control. Those aren't my words. Those are the words of the CDC.
But when these doctors came here that were infected with Ebola, they were treated. They're all fine now, right?
The first physician is fine. The second physician is still in the hospital. There's one physician who was in Africa who actually died. He was the one who went to Nigeria.
So you think in Africa they just don't know how to handle the disease? If they're brought here, that maybe there's hope?
When viruses like this hit a country, it's not just the virus that kills you. It's the civil unrest. Imagine if there was an explosion of a virus right now in the middle of the city. Where would everyone go? You'd run away from the hospitals. Patients wouldn't go there. If they were sick, they'd run. This is what's happening in Africa. But what needs to happen in our country is for us to do what we've always done well, rally together and cooperate to beat a virus like this. If people start fragmenting, which is what has happened, especially in this initial unrest in West Africa, it splinters the ability of the healthcare system to work. And what happened in Africa was there weren't that many doctors to begin with, and they all began dying with the nurses. So now all of a sudden there's no one to take care of the population. That's why we have to intervene, because the best protection for America is to get involved in Africa and stop it there. But when it does come here, and again, my experts today speak very openly, very bluntly about this on the show today, we have to have a plan in place, and that's part of what the conversation is. What would you do the first time you know about an Ebola case in this country? Again, with 20,000 people being infected in Africa, we estimate, it's hard to imagine not one would escape either to Europe or to the Americas.
So what do we do? Stay inside. Stay inside, right? Stay inside,
and
shut down.
obviously you're saying we shouldn't travel to Western Africa.
I wouldn't travel to West Africa personally right now, but I think that healers should be going there to help out if they have the ability. But the big story, I think, is actually taking your temperature. Because when you get infected, and here's the thing that's required bravery, when you take your temperature and if it goes up, which is one of the first signs of Ebola, then you actually have to go to a place where you can be isolated. Listen, Rich Besser just got back from West Africa. He was there covering it, and he ran the CDC. He's still on quarantine. And so, in theory, if he were to have a fever in the next couple days, he'd have to go to an isolation center. But everyone who is exposed to him hopefully wouldn't have been infected yet. But that's the problem.
Did you touch him?
Yeah, he's on your show. Wait, is he wearing the boy in the plastic bubble suit?
No, you're not infectious until you actually have the fever. And that's one of the good things. Ebola is a dumb virus. Most viruses that are smart won't kill their host. So the common cold, the flu, both those will sort of hang out in your body for a couple of days, not kill you, so you can spread the infection. Ebola tends to kill people. So you're so sick you can't get out of bed, and then you're not around long enough to pass it up. 90% mortality rates in some of these different populations.
Oh man, I'm moving to the country. We got to get out of here fast. It's scary.
And one last thing I'm very proud of: we did a big heart clinic in Jersey City, which I'm so proud of the folks in the tri-state area. People came out in throngs. They got their numbers. And if you're listening to my voice right now, if you don't know your waist size, which you can learn really quickly, if you don't know your blood pressure, which again, it's free in most places while you're waiting to get your prescriptions filled, then you're making a big mistake. Simple, easy numbers. They can drive health for the rest of your life.
You were speaking about heart. It kind of just reminds me of Joan Rivers. I mean, she, I guess in the middle of that procedure, which was a routine procedure, had a heart attack last week, and I know you were at the memorial yesterday,
which was beautifully done by her daughter Melissa. We're going to talk about it on Wednesday. She said something very sage to me last time she was on the program, and I just adored her. She was such a real person. We were joking around a little bit, and I said, I'm going to give you a little bit of a hard time because you've had a lot of plastic surgery. And she said, you know what? I don't worry about the plastic surgery. I worry about the anesthesia.
Oh, goodness.
And I think she was wise. For a lot of Americans, we overlook that.
I think we have that interview.
Oh, you do?
Part of the interview.
Let's
listen.
They're pressing rewind, Dr. Ross.
They're pressing rewind. It's okay.
When was this interview, by the way?
About a year ago. She's been on a couple. Here she
All right,
is.
here we go.
Went wrong.
Every time I go under, I say the same thing. Be careful. I am the only one my daughter has. Be careful. Be careful.
The risks of outpatient procedures.
Well, there's a little glimpse of it.
Yes.
So the anesthesia, and that may have played a role here. We don't know.
We don't know. I'm just so sad. We all are. It was, clear. But I got to say, to have a memorial service where you have your accountant and Howard Stern speak, you have Cindy Adams commenting, and
Hugh Jackman
and then Hugh
performing.
Jackman, exactly.
And
Church
Hugh
revival.
Jackman got everybody up, clapping and singing.
Exactly what she would have wanted, and I think it's a tribute to her. But it's a warning to us as well as we think about it. This woman. She was booked to be on my show the day she died. And that's how vital she was. She was completely with it, absolutely on top of her game. And to have a beautiful, priceless gem like that stolen from us, it's frustrating.
At the same time, a lot of us, that's kind of the way we'd like to go. She didn't suffer. There was not a long spell. Sometimes
But she was healthy. She was healthy. She was just going in to find out why her throat was sore.
Well, anytime an 81-year-old woman does that, there's some risk.
The risk. This is one of the questions it's a tough question, but we're asking it honestly on Wednesday because I don't want folks thinking, both in the medical community, but also folks who are deciding about whether to have outpatient procedures done, that it's an easy walk in the park. 70% of procedures in America are done outpatient now, and there's pretty good data that the older you are, the more risky it is. The question is, if you were to have a sudden catastrophe at an outpatient facility, who's there to help you? Is there an emergency room staff? Who's able to catch you so you don't fall off the precipice into that deep abyss of darkness?
But there seems more and more like these centers are opening up all the time now, like these walk-in medical centers everywhere where you can go and check it to see if you have the flu or not.
Well, again, a lot of it's driven by opportunities taking care of people outside of a hospital setting. That sometimes is a good thing, but sometimes it's not a good thing, and that's a question we as a country have to ask. And it's been a summer of some tragic losses with Joan Rivers and Robin Williams. Another example was with emotional and psychological issues. But we have to address some of these problems in our nation. And unfortunately, when celebrities die, people re-examine assumptions that they've made passively. And I think Joan Rivers will actually end up saving lives because she'll get people to rethink whether these procedures should be taking place in an outpatient setting.
America's physician, Dr. Mehmet Oz. We are privileged to have you here once again. Brand new, fresh show today at 4 o'clock here on Channel 5.
Congratulations.
Hey, and thanks for the apples. Look at this.
It's a blessing to be with you guys.
Thank
Love
you. Appreciate it.